President Bill Clinton.
Of the audience. So, for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who do, I'm Matt Sonicson, and today we're going to provide a critique of Bill Clinton's speech that he gave at the Democratic National Convention about 2 weeks ago. I want to give you some background first before we get into the critique. Why did I choose Bill Clinton? Because he is a presidential orator, a great orator in the tradition of Roosevelt and Churchill. He's a magnificent speaker, so that's why I chose him. His speech took place at the Democratic National Convention. Well, what is that for my non-American friends? In the U.S., you've got two large parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, and around this time they each have a convention and they nominate who's going to be their presidential candidate. And in the case of the Democrats, it's Barack Obama. And Bill Clinton at this occasion is taking the chance to nominate Barack Obama officially. Barack Obama is the incumbent president, and that means he's the president who's currently in office. And statistically, that means they have a better chance, although when you look at polls at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to be so easy for him. And we'll get into why that is. So, the message. Bill Clinton's job here is not just to nominate him, but sort of to muster up the troops to get everybody to go out and vote for Barack Obama again. And there are sort of three basic themes that sort of come through this speech. Yeah? I call it the oops, there are no winds of change after all. When Barack Obama was first going to be elected, there was this huge sort of messianic utopian vision associated with Barack Obama. And a lot of that was because of the media itself. I think after 4 years, we see that there are not all these amazing changes that he was going to bring with him. So there's not going to be any of that kind of talk, all this sort of audacious hope. There's none of that anymore, and it's a bit more realistic. So there's not any of that in the speech. No, unconditionally, is a big no. And another theme is, the last 4 years, if you remember when Barack Obama was trying to get health care passed, basically he had nothing but resistance, yeah, and so from the Republican Party. So a lot of that's going to come into there, that the Republicans have, you know, sort of taken this no at any cost against whatever the Democrats do, and he's going to play around a little bit with that. And if you see the yellow submarine here, the other big theme in his message is that we're all in the same boat, and that is a better political message. That we're all in the same boat, Democrats and Republicans, but also rich and poor, and those sorts of things are going to come into his speech. So let's take a look at one clip. Before this, he says that we're all in the same boat is a better policy than every man for himself. And then he goes on into this, why the Democratic idea is better than the Republican idea. Ah! Give me 1 second.
Who's right? Well, since 1961, for 52 years now, the Republicans have held the White House 28 years, the Democrats 24. In those 52 years, our private economy has produced 66 million private sector jobs. So, what's the job score? Republicans, 24 million. Democrats, 42. Now, there's a reason for this. It turns out that advancing equal opportunity and economic empowerment is both morally right and good economics.
So, at the same time, the Democrats have this sort of liberal approach, almost socialist approach. But he also says that that's, in the long run, that's even more conservative, yeah, because it's economically better. I thought that was a really good point. So, Mr. Clinton is very stylish. Why is he so stylish? Well, I wanted to point out how he takes his time, yeah? He speaks very clearly and passionately and with a lot of humor. Well, I mean, again, he starts off with a joke about who's right. And he laughs a lot as well. But he's also very serious when he's giving his speech the whole time. But rather than, like myself, who's sort of trying to rush to get off of this, he definitely takes his time and enunciates everything with purpose. And he does it in an accessible way. He's a super smart guy, right? He was a Rhodes Scholar, studied at Oxford, but he speaks in a way that everybody kind of gets what he's saying. What's not so good, and you don't see it in this speech, or in this clip, I mean, but overall he took too long. It's an hour-long speech, and it's really, I mean, it comes off as really long. It starts off really good and ends really well, but there are points in the middle where I think he even gets lost himself. And if you compare to his speech that he gave in 2008, it's half as long. It was only a 20-minute speech. And there's times where he loses momentum, and he even looks tired, I found, throughout the speech. So had he took away 15 minutes, he would have had a killer speech. And most of it is a killer speech, but if he just taken away 15 minutes of it, it would have been perfect. Sincerely yours. So in the next clip, I want you to look and listen not just to what he says, but how he says it. I mean, he gives purposeful gestures the whole time, yeah? He sort of supports the things he's saying. He looks at people. He really underscores what he's saying. I mean, he's brilliant. He's super sincere, and you can see it in his face, yeah? And he's got sincere body language. Let's check this out. Hopefully this will work. I'll try not to scream if it doesn't.
Through my foundation, both in America and around the world, I'm working all the time with Democrats, Republicans, and independents. Sometimes I couldn't tell you for the life who I'm working with, because we focus on solving problems and seizing opportunities and not fighting all the time. And so here's what I want to say to you. And here's what I want the people at home to think about.
It's brilliant.
When times are tough and people are frustrated and angry and hurting and uncertain, the politics of constant conflict may be good. But what is good politics does not necessarily work in the real world. What works in the real world is cooperation. What works in the real world is cooperation. Business and government, foundations and universities. Ask the mayors who are here.
I like that bit there, and I'll get to that in a second. So what's good about that part? There's so much of it about the way he delivers his speech that's good. He's constantly looking around the crowd the whole time. He's not just staring at space. He's looking here, he's looking there, he looks at you. I mean, he's engaging everyone. And he says, I want you to hear this. And then he says, I want the people at home to listen. He speaks to everyone. He speaks to specific politicians. He even calls out the mayors in the audience. He's constantly engaging everyone in the audience. Yeah? I mean, I like that bit that he says, folks at home. It sort of reminds me of these Roosevelt-Churchill fireside chats that they used to give. Yeah, like I said, he calls out various politicians. Another aspect of his speeches in general is that he's ridiculously well prepared. Yeah? He knows the crowd that he's dealing with. He does an amazing amount of research, right? And after that, but he goes into different stuff that Democratic mayors have accomplished throughout the country, yeah? And other people who he's done interviews with or whatever, he knows more about the people that are interviewing him than they know about him. I mean, he's immaculately prepared wherever he goes, which I just think overall he's a master craftsman and an effective speaker. A lot better than this guy.
A potential... certainly not. It is a. I think it is. It's a. Listen, Mike.
So there you go. My audience, thank you very much. Thank you, my camera lady.